Hello, it is such a pleasure to be here with all of you today. My name is Z Clarke, and I am here to talk to you about imposter syndrome. So a little background about me first. I went to Harvard for undergrad. I went to Harvard Business School, and I spent over 20 years in corporate America, working at big Fortune 500 companies like Citigroup and American Express. And then I spent a lot of my career in Silicon Valley. And during that time, all these 20 years, I was often the only woman in the room, especially in very technical environments. I was the only Black person. And very, very often, I was the only Black woman, not only in the room, but on the floor, and sometimes even at the entire company, at a global company. When I was working in Silicon Valley, I often felt like I didn't belong. I didn't belong in the world of Teslas when I grew up in Washington, D.C., in a pretty low-income neighborhood that was the murder capital of America. We reelected Marion Barry after he was caught smoking crack on camera as our mayor. My neighborhood was filled with drive-by shootings. I remember my first one when I was 7. I remember my last one when I was 17. So as you might imagine, being in Silicon Valley, being at work, being the only Black person was really, really challenging. And it wasn't the first time for me, though, because I went to private school growing up. And my first experience with imposter syndrome, I was 8 years old. It was the first day of school. I looked around and I was the only Black person. And from what I could tell, I was also the only poor person, given the cars that were dropping people off. And only the teachers talked to me. And I was like, what am I doing here? I don't belong. I'm not smart enough. I'm not rich enough. And I don't look like any of the people here. I know now, but I did not know then that this has a name. This is imposter syndrome. And it wouldn't be the last time. When I was a freshman at Harvard, I remember getting into this advanced economics class and somebody said to me, you're only here because we had diversity quotas to meet, right? So again, I was going to be filled with self-doubt. And even in my working world, I remember I had a boss the first week of work. He said to me, I just want you to know I didn't hire you because you're Black. Now, I never thought that that's why he hired me, because I thought that my experience and my education level warranted me getting this job. However, when my boss said that to me, I wondered, did he just hire me because I'm Black? Right? So with that said, I spent a lot of time actually studying mindfulness and breathwork tools, because that has helped me get through a lot of the challenges that I've experienced at work, especially around imposter syndrome. I went to India. I got my yoga teacher training there. I went deep into breathwork. I became a sound healer. So I don't look like your average Harvard Business School graduate, but these tools have been so impactful. So I want to share my screen. And if Karen could help me share my screen. And I want to tell you a little bit about what we are going to do today. All right, so countering imposter syndrome with courage. Today, we're going to better understand imposter syndrome, the symptoms, the causes, and we're going to learn mindfulness techniques to build a toolkit to identify and overcome imposter syndrome when we experience it at work. And so after this, you're going to get a follow-up email from me with that toolkit. So take notes, but know that you don't have to, because you'll get some right up after this. So today we're going to talk about the definition of imposter syndrome. What are the symptoms? What are the causes? I'm going to introduce you to a framework called WebAV. The W is for welcoming the voice, that imposter syndrome voice of self-doubt. The E is for evidence gathering, and we're going to be doing a brief journaling exercise. So make sure you can open up a window to type something, or if you have a journal handy, grab that. Some people like to handwrite. We're going to be doing some breathing techniques, because it's so powerful to calm your nervous system and build confidence. We're going to be doing affirmations, right? And I used to doubt affirmations, but we'll talk about it later because they work. And some physical postures to accompany these affirmations to make sure they really, really work. And we're going to end with the V in WebAV for visualization. So a few agreements for this workshop. 1, curiosity. I invite you to ask questions if you have them, and be open to try new things, because some of these techniques I learned in India, they might look weird, but they've been done for thousands of years. Active listening. Please don't be on your phone. Part of mindfulness is to pay attention, to be here. And part of that is to be present. So notice how the discussion and the practices are affecting you both physically and emotionally. So what is imposter syndrome? Well, Defined by American psychologists Pauline Clance and Suzanne Imes in 1978, it is the internal experience, happening on the inside, of intellectual phoniness in people who believe they are not intelligent, capable, or creative, despite evidence, I'm underlining evidence, of high achievement. While these people are highly motivated to achieve, they also live in fear of being found out or exposed as frauds. So I'm going to share a few symptoms of imposter syndrome and know that we're going to be doing a poll to see which of these you have experienced. So just take note. Oh yeah, that one, that one, that one. All right. 1, I'm a fake and I'm going to be found out. Like, I don't belong here. I'm not smart enough. Number 2, hard to accept praise. Have you noticed, like, you get a performance review, you don't remember any of the good things. You're like, they said this, I did bad. They said this, I did bad. And then you discount the positive. Well, it's like, oh, I got lucky, or they're just being nice, or I just had connections. Number 3, inflexible goal setting. You hold yourself to incredibly, sometimes impossibly high standards. I'm definitely guilty of this one. Number 4 is perfectionism, which is kind of aligned with the last one. You don't feel satisfied until you know everything about a subject. Number 5, intense fear of failure. Failure is not an option. You find that fear to be paralyzing. Like, I can't do this because I'm not going to be perfect and I'm going to fail and it's going to be a complete disaster. Don't know if that resonates with you. Self-sabotage. Have you ever not applied for a position or not requested a promotion or a raise when it was warranted because you're like, I'm scared I'm going to fail, so I'm just not going to try? Number 7, typically turn down help so that you can prove your worth as an individual. I got it. Meanwhile, you're like, I have no idea what I'm doing. And that kind of ties with the last one. Overtly confident, but covertly with low self-confidence. So if you would get your phones and scan this QR code or go to slido.com and enter 687-615, the question is, which of these have you experienced? So we're going to just take a minute. I'm curious. I'm a fake and I'm going to be found out. Intense fear of failure. Failure is not an option. Self-sabotage. Hard to accept praise. Goal setting, turning down help, perfectionism. So we're just going to give it a minute to see. It looks like so far one person's voted. So we're just going to give folks a little bit more time before we actually look into it. So get your phone, scan that QR code, or go to slido.com and enter 687-615. So we're just going to give that a few minutes and we'll see what these numbers look like. And mind you, I want to share with you that I have experienced all of these. I have experienced all of these, sometimes more so than other, depending on what day it is. So you can see here, some folks are starting to vote here. I'm going to give it just a few more minutes, but the order isn't changing too much. So I am going to start just reading out some of these results. It looks like so far right now, wow, they keep switching a little bit, but self-sabotage and perfectionism continue to be on the top 2. And in fact, it looks like self-sabotage is number 1. All right. Perfectionism. And they're kind of tied, right? Because it's like, oh, well, I need to be perfect. Well, I'm not perfect, so I'm not going to apply for the job or that promotion. Other things, hard to accept praise, inflexible goal setting seem to be there. But if you look here, at least, everybody, or a 27%, the lowest one is overtly confident, covertly low self-confidence, but all of you have, like all of these have been experienced by this group of folks. At this point, we have about 50 something people and the numbers haven't really changed. So thank you for sharing. And the point here is that you are not alone. So why and when does this happen? I don't know if you'd call yourself a high achiever. I'm definitely a high achiever. And that's caused me a lot of stress in my life. High achievers tend to focus on what they haven't done versus what they have. Not sure if that applies to you. In moments of success, when we're starting a new job, when we get a promotion, when we get positive feedback, when we take on extra responsibility, that's when we start to doubt ourselves. Childhood family dynamics. I don't know about you, but in lots of families, especially mine, there was the smart one, the funny one. And if you were not the smart one, then you kind of assume, oh, I'm not the smart one. Like my parents told me that I couldn't dance from when I was really young. And they said that my youngest brother was the least intelligent child. Those things stick with you as an adult. When your boss or your colleagues question your competence, and when they, have a little doubt about what you said in a meeting, that makes you question yourself. Sometimes this is about our identity. Now, I explained from the very beginning what my experience has been like as a Black woman in tech. Well, I have found out sometimes that my white male counterparts were making a lot more than me in terms of compensation. And that made me doubt myself because I associated my self-worth with my compensation. I talked a little bit about this when I talked about my life experience at work as being the only. Do you know who this person is? This is Ursula Burns. For a long time, she was the only Black female CEO of a Fortune 500 company. Look who's next to her, people like Bill Gates. When you are the only, you start to question yourself. Microaggressions. I remember the first day of work, somebody came up to me once and said, "Are you the new diversity hire?" I was like, these comments can be brief, but they are extremely damaging, and that can cause self-doubt as well. So I want you to know that you are not alone. You saw that from the poll, but here's a question for you. What percentage of Americans experience imposter syndrome? And we are going to go to this Slido poll one more time to see what percentage of Americans do you think experience imposter syndrome? Is it 20% or is it 95% or somewhere in the middle? So scan that QR code or go to slido.com and put in 687-615 and let's see what you think. What percentage of Americans experience imposter syndrome? So far we have a couple guesses, but I think we have a few more people that can weigh in here. Looks like 57% say 70%, 27% say 95%. It's kind of sticking in this general order, but it looks like most folks are thinking a lot of people. Looks like at least half, maybe a lot more than half or somewhere in between. So I'm going to give it like one more minute here. And it looks like the large majority of folks here believe that 70% of Americans experience imposter syndrome. And I want you all to know you are a very, 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 very smart bunch because the answer is 70%. Yes, so smart, totally on top of it. You are not alone if you've experienced this. In fact, Dr. Maya Angelou said, each time I write a book, every time I face that yellow pad, the challenge is so great. I have written 11 books, but each time I think, they're going to find me out now. I've run a game on everybody and they're going to find me out. Maya Angelou. This one surprised me. Michelle Obama, y'all. I still have a little imposter syndrome. It never goes away. Okay. And she has accomplished so much, so much. So what do we do about it? Okay. We know what it is. We know what causes it. We know that we're not alone. What can we do about it? And that is why we are here today. So WebAV. W is for welcoming the voice. E is for evidence gathering. B is for breath work. And A is for affirmations and postures. And V is for visualization. So we are going to go through it right now. I'm going to stop sharing my screen and we are going to go through each one. The first one is W. Welcoming the voice. Now, what do I mean by the voice? This is that imposter syndrome voice. Now, I have a quote for you from Sun Tzu, who wrote The Art of War, and it is this: if you know the enemy and you know yourself, you need not fear the result of 100 battles. Now, who's the enemy here? This imposter syndrome voice. So we are going to dig in right now and we're going to listen to this voice. All right. So take a moment, close your eyes, take a deep breath, take a deep inhalation, exhale it out. Inhale, Exhale it out. One last time, deep, deep inhalation. Exhale it out. Now imagine a situation in which you experienced self-doubt. Where were you? Who were you with? What happened? Imagine the voice in your head that expressed this self-doubt. Get to know this voice. How do they sound? Do they have a high-pitched voice or a low pitch? What sort of tone are they using? Is it stern? Is it sarcastic? Is it criticizing? Is it skeptical? And what are they saying to you? Maybe it's, you're not good enough. You're going to mess up. You don't belong here. What is your voice saying? And if you were to give this voice a name, what would it be? Take a deep inhalation through your nose. Exhale it out. And slowly flutter your eyes open and grab a pen or open a window in your computer and write down a few of the loudest things that this voice says. Just take one more minute for you to write down, what is your voice? What does this imposter syndrome voice say? All right. So I want to share with you that my imposter syndrome voice, his name is Bob, and he is a British man. And he tells me I'm going to get fired all the time. Like, this is back in the day, especially when I was working at this particular startup. He would just be like, you're going to mess up. You're going to mess up. You're going to get fired. You're going to get fired. So look at your list. Look at what you wrote down. Okay. And choose one of the statements that comes up most often. The one that, like, you read that, you felt that, and you're like, oh, that one. Circle that one. Underline that one, okay? Because we are going to focus on the E in WebApp, which is evidence gathering, okay? So I invite you, again, grab a piece of paper or get a document in your computer and write down the one statement that, like, really stands out that this imposter syndrome voice says, okay? And then we're going to make two lists. So if you wrote it down on a piece of paper, then draw a line down the paper so that you can have two columns. And if you're on your computer, maybe you make just two lists, but the one column is evidence that supports this statement, okay? Evidence, facts. And the second column is evidence that disproves this statement, okay? So now if my statement was, you're going to get fired, right? So then I would write that on the top, and then I would make a list of evidence that supports me getting fired and evidence that disproves that I'm going to get fired. So maybe it's performance reviews or something like that, or maybe it's comments from colleagues. All right. So, oh my gosh, somebody else's, I'm looking at the comments and someone else's was also Bob. I hear you. Okay. So we're going to take a few minutes right now. We're going to take 3 minutes, 3 or 4 minutes. I'm going to play some music right now. I'm going to set my timer, and you're going to write down the evidence that supports these statements or disproves these statements. And if you have any issues with this exercise, I invite you to think about what your biggest fan would contribute to this list. Maybe it's an old boss, maybe it's a colleague, could even be your mom, but sometimes other people can be more objective than we can be about ourselves. Have about 2 more minutes here. About 1 more minute now. Okay. I invite you to look at what you wrote down. And we're just going to take a moment of silence as you read what you wrote and just experience that. Notice how you feel as you read the facts and the evidence. And maybe observe how long are each of the lists? Is either one longer? How does it make you feel as you read it? And just be here, be now. Okay. Now, the reason I have you do this exercise is because we often don't pay attention to the evidence that disproves this statement. And we just get caught up in a swirl in our mind and we're just focused on negative things when there's actual facts that disprove this crazy voice that's saying all these negative things. So, all right. So we've gone through the W, welcoming the voice. We've gone through E, evidence gathering. And now it's time for the B, which is for breath work. Okay, I want to share some breathing techniques with you, but first, why breathing? Now, if you know me at all, I will always be talking about the breath. Why? Because it has a huge impact on our nervous system. Our nervous system is the command center for our body, for our physical stuff, our digestion, our thoughts, all of these things. And so a study was done where a bunch of folks watched a movie, and the movie invokes certain emotions: scared, excitement, calm, all this stuff, right? And they noticed that people breathed in similar patterns during scared. They breathed in similar patterns during anger. They breathed in similar patterns during calm. So they took those patterned breath and they brought them to people that never watched the movie. And they said, breathe like this. How do you feel? Angry. Breathe like this. How do you feel? Calm. Okay. So you can actually control how you feel. You have agency around how you feel. All right. So that's why we breathe, because breathing can actually do that for you. So I have a few techniques for you to use before you're walking into a big thing that you need to do. Maybe it's a meeting, maybe it's about a project that you're about to start. All right, the first one is the solar plexus breath. You might be familiar with the chakra system. You might not. The chakra system originated in India between 1500 BC and 500 BC, and it is a network of energy channels in the body. The solar plexus chakra, that is the area around the abdomen, so above the belly button and below the breastbone. So that's kind of like this area, okay? This area. And this area is the center of our willpower, our self-confidence, transformation, and taking action. So the solar plexus breath, I'm going to demonstrate, and then we're going to do it together. You will take your fingers below your rib cage. Your thumbs are going to wrap around the back here, okay? And as you breathe in and out through the nose, we're going to push against our fingers. And then as we exhale, our fingers are going to come back in. So we're going to breathe in so that our fingers in the front push out, but also we're going to breathe in through our back so that you feel your thumbs push out as well. All right. And we're going to breathe in for a count of 4 and out for a count of 4. So are you ready? Sit up straight, sit on the edge of your chair so that your back is straight. 2 feet firmly placed on the ground. Roll your shoulders back and down because, we're often like this and, you can't really breathe like that. So ready? Okay, we're sitting up straight. We're going to take our fingers below the rib cage. We're going to wrap our thumb around the back. And as we inhale, we're going to feel our fingers push against our belly, like at the sides of our body. We're going to feel that air push against our fingers in the front and our thumbs in the back. We are going to start right now. Hands in the proper position here, breathing in and out through the nose. And here we go. Inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. One last time. Inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. And relax and notice how you feel. This breathing technique stimulates the parasympathetic nervous system. So the sympathetic nervous system, that is our fight or flight reaction. That's like we're under attack. That's Darwin stuff. When you're stressed out and you're like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, like I'm going to mess up. That's your parasympathetic nervous system. That's your sympathetic nervous system. Sorry, that's like stress. That's fight or flight. The parasympathetic nervous system is the opposite of that. That is our rest and digest nervous system. That is our center of calm. So this solar plexus breath stimulates our parasympathetic nervous system, our ability to feel calm. All right. So that's breathing technique number 1, solar plexus breath. If you're freaking out before a thing, use this to calm down. I usually do these things in private because it looks weird. So find yourself a private spot, because the next breathing technique I'm going to share with you looks even weirder. I warn you, this is the one that looks the weirdest. All right. It's called the lion's breath. It opens up the throat chakra. Okay, just talked about the chakra system. The throat chakra is the center of our voice, of communications, and it helps boost our confidence, this lion's breath. It's also good for circulation, for tension, for thyroid issues, and my favorite is anti-aging, because I am a Black person and Black don't crack, Black don't crack. I'm not gonna tell you how old I am, but I'm older than you think. And so why not want to be a little bit younger looking? Okay. So here we go. I'm going to demonstrate and then we're going to do it together. Your arms are in goalpost position, okay? Goalpost position. Wow, I'm like trying to get them equal. All right, so goalpost position here. Your fingers like jazz hands, okay? Jazz hands, wow, okay. Jazz hands. So what that means is fingers spread wide apart, all right? And as you don't do this with me at first, all right? I'm just gonna do it and then we're gonna do it together. You're gonna inhale through your nose. And then you're gonna exhale and stick your tongue out and make your eyes wide and go, I told you it looks weird. So I'm going to inhale and then I'm going to go. So that is how you do it. If you have any questions on this breathing technique, just put it in the comment section. I will answer it on how you do it. But ready? We are going to do it together. We're going to do it 3 times. Let me tell you when I do this technique. Let's say I'm about to give a presentation, or I am about to give a speech, or I am about to ask for a promotion. Stuff when I just need my animal instincts to just come out. That raw self, not that scared version. No, the lion, my inner lion needs to come out. I do this in the bathroom. I do it in the mirror in the bathroom, and I look at myself and I do this. And afterwards, I'm like, yes, I am ready. You will be ready too. Are you ready to do it with me? Okay. Goalpost arms, all right? Fingers wide, sitting up straight. Inhale through your nose and stick that tongue out. The eyes big. Again, inhale through your nose and then last time, make it good. Nobody's looking at you. Inhale through your nose and relax. And notice how you feel. I usually feel just like ready, like kind of animal, like bring it. I can handle anything. So that's your second breathwork technique. I got one more that you can do before doing a big thing, okay? It is called the humming bee breath. The humming bee breath. This one builds confidence, but it's around focus. I don't know about you, but sometimes my brain is like, and especially when I'm about to do something that I think is going to be hard. So like for me, reading legal contracts, I just can't focus, right? Now, if you're an engineer and maybe you need to code, maybe that's what it is. Or when I'm about to write something, like something that you need to sit and just focus. This technique is good for tension and anxiety also. It's good for headaches and migraines, but you shouldn't do this if you are pregnant, if you have ear infections, ear irritations, or high blood pressure. Okay. Also, if you're prone to epilepsy, not good. All right. So how do you do it? What is this humming bee breath for focus? Do not do this with me yet because you won't be able to hear me. All right. So here is what you do. You are going to get your thumbs and you're going to stick them in your ear. You are not going to close the earlobe. You're going to stick it just in your ear. Not too far in. You don't want to hurt yourself. Okay. So I'm sticking in both ears. Don't do this with me yet because you won't be able to hear me. Then you're going to cover your eyes with your fingers. You are going to inhale through your nose. And then you're going to exhale a hum. So I'm going to exhale for as long as I can. I'm just demoing right now. And then I'm going to inhale through my nose. And then I'm going to exhale. And that hum is going to be for as long as I can exhale. So you deep inhale and then exhale very, very long. Okay. And so this is really, really, really good for focus. And what I love about this, I am a sound healer with Tibetan singing bowls. And did you know that if you went to a sensory deprivation tank and you listened, you would hear a tone, like a note, okay? And you have your own inner vibration, like an actual note, a tone, and it changes based on how you're feeling. So this is helping us get in touch with our inner vibration. Let me know if you have any questions. Otherwise, we are going to get started and do it together. We're going to do it for 5 breaths. You won't be able to hear me, so you need to count for yourself, okay? 5 deep breaths. We're going to sit up straight. We are going to put our thumbs in our ears. We are going to cover our eyes, and we're going to inhale through our nose and then hum.
This one is called the humming bee breath. And as you come back from it, I know people are going to have different paces. Just take a moment to notice how you feel. Notice what it feels like for the air to make contact with your ears again. Notice what it feels like for your eyes to come in contact with light again. And just notice how your body and your mind feel right now. Okay, so that is the humming bee breath for focus. I want to also tell you that this breath is actually also really helpful if you're trying to go to sleep, which I know is kind of like ironic. So if you're sleepy and you need to do work, don't do this breath, do like the lion's breath. But if your mind is like, go, 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 and you need to just slow down, then you do the humming bee breath for focus. Exactly. So I have one last breathing technique. All those ones that I shared with you are what you do before you're about to go to a meeting or do a presentation or start a project. But what if you're in the meeting? What if you are in a meeting, all these people are looking at you, okay, they're looking at you, and you're like, ah! Inside you're like, oh my God, I'm gonna mess up, they're gonna think I'm stupid, all this stuff. I have a technique for you to do while in the meeting, while in the moment. It is called the belly breath, okay? The belly breath. How does it work? Well, take a hand, place it on your belly, sit up straight, inhale, and as you inhale, push against your hand with your belly. Exhale, let your belly come towards your spine. Inhale, make that belly big, push against your hand. Exhale, bring it back towards your spine. Breathing in and out of the nose. Now, you're in a meeting, you're in front of people, you can't take your hand and place it on the belly. So take that hand away, all right? Because you don't want people to know that you're doing it. All of this is secret. Nobody needs to know the secret tools on why you can embrace your awesomeness. So sit up straight and inhale and let that belly get big. Exhale, belly comes towards your spine. Inhale, belly gets big. Exhale, belly comes towards your spine. So if you are in a meeting or you're in front of people and you just like need to calm yourself down, the belly breath, because this also stimulates the parasympathetic nervous system. All right. So, okay. Now that's the breath work. That's the B in WebAV. So now we're at the A. We are at the A for WebAV. Okay, so the A is for affirmations and poses. All right, the power of affirmations is repeating them to yourself regularly, not just like saying it once. No, repeat it to yourself regularly or have it come into your psyche regularly. All right, put it in your calendar, have it pop up as reminders and stuff like that. And then your brain's like, oh yeah, I forgot. So how do you write an affirmation? It is present tense, okay, present tense. It sometimes can turn a negative into a positive. So for example, if you habitually think, I'm not talented enough to progress in my career, turn this around and make it positive and say, I am a skilled and experienced engineer, marketer, or whatever it is that you do. All right. The other thing is research shows that affirmations are much more effective when you say your name out loud. So here's an example. I play violin and I've always been very self-conscious about my improvisation skills because I learned with the Suzuki method, which is like play it exactly like this rather than improvising. So here is my affirmation. Z is amazing at violin improv. Now let me break that down. Z. I said my name out loud. Z is, present tense, Z is amazing at violin improv. Now yours might be something else, but this is very important because
when you separate yourself, when you use your name, there's less emotion tied to it. So then it could be like a fact. It allows for some distancing, a reduction in the ego, and therefore less stress. So let's take a minute. Let's take a minute and write down your affirmation. What is your affirmation? And if you're having trouble, it can just be something super general. But if there's something specific you've been working on or you want to work on, make it that. Just 30 more seconds, write down that affirmation because we're going to be using it in a second. So you need one. Okay, so now that we have our affirmation, what do we do with it? Well, let me tell you, one option, which is really powerful, we're not going to do it right now, is to say it to yourself in the mirror. Go to a mirror, look into your eyes, and say it with confidence. But right now, we're going to do it combined with a physical posture, okay? And so I'm going to explain it, I'm going to demonstrate it, and then we're going to do it together. So first of all, you're going to stand up. You're going to stand up. I invite everybody to stand up. Oh, wait, you had to move? Yes, you do. Stand up. You're going to stand with your legs a little bit wider than hip width distance apart, okay? Legs a little bit wide. You're going to open your arms out. You're going to stick your chest out. You're going to close your eyes, and you're going to repeat your affirmation 5 times. And each time, you're going to put emphasis on a different word. I'm going to demonstrate. Z is amazing at violin improv. Z is amazing at violin improv. Z is amazing at violin improv. You get me? Okay, so we're going to do it together. I'm going to mute myself so that you don't get distracted with mine. And we're just going to all do it together right now. Repeat it 5 times, convincing with confidence, like you believe it. Stick your chest out and scream it to the world right now. 5 times. I'm going on mute. I don't know if you're done yet. If not, finish up. Say it loud. Say it loud like you believe it, like you mean it because it is true. Okay. All right. So, WebAv. We got one more letter. We got one more letter, and that is the V in visualization. All right. And so why visualization? Well, extensive research shows that for Olympic athletes, they stimulate the same brain regions when they visualize an event and when they actually perform it in the Olympics. So that's why visualization is actually part of most Olympic training, that like with the coaches and stuff. All righty. So visualization. This does not just apply to sports, y'all. This applies to work. You can visualize your performance at work, and then the thing actually happens. So we're going to do a visualization exercise right now. I invite you to just get into a comfortable seated position. You could lie down if you want to also. I invite you to close your eyes if you feel comfortable. Take a deep inhalation through your nose. Exhale it out. Inhale. Exhale it out. Last one, take a deep inhalation. Exhale. Focus your attention on your forehead and notice if you're holding any tension there and just relax. Focus your attention on your eyebrows, your left eyebrow, your right eyebrow. Focus your attention on your eyelids. Let them be heavy. Notice your left eyelid, your right eyelid. Focus your attention on your nose, the bridge of your nose, the tip of your nose. Focus your attention on your nostrils and feel the air come in and out of your nostrils. Focus your attention on your lips, your upper lip, your lower lip. Focus your attention on your jaw. Notice if you're holding any tension in your jaw and just relax. Focus your attention on your chest and feel your lungs expand on the inhale and contract on the exhale. Focus your attention on your belly and allow it to fill up on the inhale. And allow your belly to come towards your spine on the exhale. And now bring to mind a situation at work that you would like to do well in. Be as specific as possible. Maybe it's a job interview. Maybe it's making a big presentation, a meeting with somebody above you, leading a team. Think about a specific event or scenario at work in which you would like to perform at your very best. Now imagine sitting in a large, comfy chair in the cool air conditioning of a movie theater, and in front of you is a blank white screen. Slowly, images start to appear, and you are watching a movie of this specific situation at work in which you are performing at your very best. It is now a reality. You see you on the screen, and you are performing at your very best. The best version of you right now. What is happening? What are you wearing? What are you doing? What are you saying? What are you seeing? Who is there? What is the expression on their faces? Now imagine you are not watching this movie, but you are inside of it. It is all happening to you and around you. Look at your surroundings. How are you feeling? How are you feeling physically? How are you feeling emotionally? If you're speaking, hear yourself talk. Feel the words come out of your mouth. If you're creating something, feel your body and your mind creating it. Listen to the sounds around you. Hear the conversations, the sounds of the environment. Inhale deeply. And engage in the environment, touching and feeling until your whole being is immersed in the vibration of you living your best life, being your best self, performing at your very best. And it's happening right now. allow yourself to bathe in the experience of living the life that you desire, performing at your very best, creating it and feeling it into being right here, right now. Trust and know that it is happening, and enjoy this experience. Now call upon your ancestors, call upon the universe, call upon any higher beings that are supporting you, call upon your higher self and ask the question, what message do I need to receive to help me plant the seeds to make this a reality? What do I need to hear right now to support my growth? Receive this message with a deep inhalation. Hold at the top for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And exhale out all that's been holding you back. Inhale in and receive the abundance that is already here around you. Friends, family, love, resources, skills, experience, and hold it at the top. And exhale out all that's been holding you back. Inhale in the knowing that what you just saw and experienced will happen. Hold it at the top. And exhale out gratitude for all that you're thankful for. And now take a hand and place it on your heart with a tender touch. And repeat this in your mind's eye. May I be happy. May I be healthy. May I live with ease. And now holding in your heart someone that you love, someone that you love. May they be happy. May they be healthy. May they live with ease. And now holding in your heart everyone that is on this call right now, everyone at this West Career Development Summit. May we be happy. May we be healthy. May we live with ease. Bringing your hand down. Slowly flutter your eyes open and welcome back. And just notice how you feel. Notice how you feel. I wanted to do a little recap of what we did today, what we learned today, and know that you will get this toolkit with detailed descriptions in a follow-up email from me. First, WebAV. I saw in the chat someone asked, what does WebAV stand for? Well, we're about to review it right now, y'all. W, welcoming the voice. That's that imposter syndrome voice. Mine was Bob. Okay, someone else's was Bob too. Whose was yours? What did yours sound like? That voice. E is for evidence gathering. What is the evidence that supports what this voice says? And what is the evidence that disproves what this voice says. Evidence, facts. B is for breath work. And I'm going to go through what those breathing techniques were in a second. We're going to go deep into that one. A is for affirmations and postures. Present tense, maybe turn a negative into a positive. Use your name. The research says that if you say your name out loud, it works. Postures, stand up, scream it out loud in private. I know, we don't want to look crazy. V is for visualization. Visualize you doing what you want to do, and then it will happen. Science proves it. What were the breathing techniques, you ask? What were the breathing techniques? Okay. Before big meetings, events, projects, solar plexus breath. That's that solar plexus where your fingers below your rib cage and your thumb around your back, and you breathe in and out to that area. Hold, count for a count of 4, in, 4, out. Lion's breath, that was the crazy one. Also great for anti-aging, but activates your voice when you need to talk, when you need to ask for something, when you need to speak. That's when you do that one. Humming bee breath. That was the one where we plugged our ears, we covered our eyes, and we hummed for 5 breaths. Usually you should do it for 10. If you really want to be intense about it, do it for like 2 minutes. Doing that to focus. And then during big meetings and events, that's when you do the belly breath. That's when you don't need your hand on the belly. Nobody needs to know that you're doing it, but you're in the meeting, you're doing something, you're freaking out, and all these people are around you. You just breathe in, like making your belly big like a balloon, which is counterintuitive because we're always trying to suck in and look skinny. But actually, this stimulates our parasympathetic nervous system, our sense of calm. All right. So that's what we did. You'll get a toolkit, but I want to share with you a little bit about what I do in my everyday life these days. I offer a 5-part wellness series, well-being series for employee resource groups. So Black employee resource groups, Latinx employee resource groups, Indigenous ones, women ones. And these are the workshops. Oh, I forgot to fix this one. Sorry, there's one that's missing that's wrong on this slide. So the first one is mindfulness to heal from microaggressions. The second one is countering imposter syndrome with courage. That's the one we just did. The third is bringing my whole self to work. The fourth is rejuvenation from fatigue. And for the Black employee resource groups, it's from Black fatigue. And the fifth, I copied and pasted. I just added this one recently because so many people were requesting it. It's mindfulness and self-care, because we need to take care of ourselves. And we typically don't do that, especially as women. We're always taking care of other people, but you need to put your mask on first before you can take care of other people. So mindfulness and self-care. And I've worked at companies like Google and Facebook and Visa. So if you work at a company and you feel like an employee resource group at your company could benefit from any of these workshops, again, the last one is mindfulness and self-care. Slide has an error. Please let me know. How do you get in contact with me? Well, you can follow me on Instagram. I'm at Zebra Clarke. Zebra's my spirit animal. Did you know that zebras, their patterns are individual? They don't have names. You could just look at somebody and every pattern is specific to that particular zebra, but yet their individuality together helps with survival because it confuses predators. Isn't that crazy? So anyway, I love zebras. At Zebra Clarke on Instagram. You can go to my website, zclarke.com, to learn about offerings that I have. I'm starting to do a weekly 5-minute breathwork session every Tuesday on Instagram Live, but I have other events and workshops and stuff that are happening, and also information on how your company might work with me. You can email me at z@reclaimingflow.com. And with that said, I wanted to end with one quick little surprise that I decided to do last minute, and that is this is the surprise. Karen doesn't even know I'm about to do this. So we talked about voices, and I want everybody to know that your voice is important. Your voice needs to be heard. So with that, I am going to play a very quick violin song. This is also known as the Black National Anthem, and since Black History Month is around the corner, here we go. let's lift every voice and sing if you didn't recognize it. And with that, I hope you all have a great rest of your day, rest of your week, and believe in yourselves because you are amazing and you should know that. All right. Bye, everyone.